of what are the spaces within broadly fintech, that you feel there's a lot of opportunity to build? And fintech is obviously massive, but what are the spaces that you feel founders should certainly build big companies in the next 3-4 years?
Yeah, I guess, Jeeves, I think we need to know what India is, right? And India is not a very rich country. And therefore, when it comes to the money business, uh, whether it is investing, transacting, or even lending, there is a really a certain segment that you can go after. People call it India 1A, India 1, and so on and so forth, right? I think just being cognizant of that in our industry is, I think, in general, very, very important. Uh, because otherwise you'll end up adding risk. Like, for example, if you lend to people who are otherwise unlendable, it's really hard to recover capital back, and that then goes to your cost of capital, etc. So I guess just being cognizant of what India is today, I think is very important when you're building in fintech.
Interesting. And any specific spaces you are keen, which is maybe slightly different from what Dezerv is, that you are keen, even as an investor, or as someone who's just tracking within fintech?
So again, like I said, lending to the upper end of the segment, I think is still very, very exciting. It's very different from what we do, but I think there are plays there. I think being present at the right time when the consumer is making a decision which potentially can be supplemented or eased or hastened because of lending, I think is an interesting play for me.
Would Dezerv go international? When I say international, I don't mean just Indians abroad.
Never say never, Jeeves, but at this point, I feel that the opportunity within the Indian affluent space is really very high. I mean, compared to the US, which has 4,000 advisors per million households, India has close to 200 advisors per million households in the relevant category. And I think, which means that we need to be hyper focused on India. The second thing also to know, I feel, is that we are not a transacting platform. So we are essentially asking you to give your money to us, right? And therefore the understanding of consumer behavior, I think, is very, very important. I'm not sure how we will be able to understand the non-India consumer.